I'm wondering if it seems from reading your literature and watching a couple of your videos
Hmm.
that your your service is somewhat geared towards people who are doing print offsite, and I'm wondering, is someone who is a fine artist going to benefit from that, even though we're not doing any printing offsite because we sell paintings from out of our house.
Yeah, it doesn't matter whether you offered prints or not. Um, I'd love to have a separate conversation with you why I think you should offer prints. That's got nothing to do with printing. We'll get into that in a second, but whatever you choose to sell is whatever you choose to sell, right? That doesn't matter to us. You still have the marketing problem, right? So you're going to benefit more than anything else from that aspect of what we offer, and then obviously the software too. But do you just do originals and commissions, and if so, why?
I would be willing to do prints. I just wondered if I would be getting my money's worth if I only sold originals. I I would of course be willing, but I don't have that many people interested in that
Oh,
right now.
you'd be surprised. You'd be surprised if you turned it on. What more important than that? Let me ask you this way. So, what do your originals start at?
400.
400. So the cheapest price in your store ever will be $400, right? And so when you think about that, and let's take everything back to retail because that's what I always do. Yeah, it's a website, it's online, and everyone thinks, ooh, internet. But at the end of the day, all we're trying to do is mimic the retail buying experience because that's the best way to buy things. How many stores do you know, okay, where the starting price is $400 and people are in there all the time buying all the time, right? Doesn't happen all that often. So what happens when you offered prints, which is one of the primary reasons that we encourage the prints, let alone for photographers, different story if you're an artist, but also the merch is to give you more price points in your store, okay? Because the thing that is just so important to understand is, one, you're a business. Two, you need as many revenue sources as possible. Three, whether it's the prints or whether it's the merch, everyone's followers, okay, fall into a bell curve. And I always draw this bell curve. And it just doesn't matter. Art Storefront's followers, your followers, Nimi's followers, Richard's followers, okay? And the bell curve is simple, right? You have socioeconomic status bell curve. You have, the lower income types. You have lower middle class, upper middle class, and the high net worth individuals down here, right? Everyone's graph it works that way. And so if you don't have these cheaper price points over here, you're going to get a whole bunch of people that are following you, that are liking you, getting on your list, that can't afford to buy anything and would want to do business with you, right? And so when you have those lower price points, it gives you an opportunity to capture some of that business. And yes, it's smaller in terms of revenue, but what they don't teach you in art school is, do you know what the easiest customer to get is as an artist, as a photographer? The one you already have. Okay, the one you already have. That's just a truism of business. And when you look at this business and you stretch it out, you guys are artists for life. You don't have midlife crises and change. You're creatives for life. You know, the person that buys those inexpensive things today and gets on your list and spends the next umpteen years of their life looking at the print, and then they get a huge new job, and then they relocate to the suburbs and they have a 4,000 square foot house now instead of a shoebox apartment. Who are they going to come to for art at that point? They're going to come to you, right? And that's the way this game works. I always cite this guy's book, and I love it. So, Don't Be a Starving Artist. It's by Weiland, the whale guy, right? April will put a link to it in the chat. I actually totally recommend. I mean, he's if he's not the number one selling artist in the United States, he's in the top three. Guy knows what he's talking about, right? He's moved a tremendous amount of art. He references how important his collectors are, and he defines collectors as folks that have bought in excess of 7 pieces of his over a period of a lifetime. And your job fundamentally as an artist or photographer is building this list of collectors, because they go along for the ride with you all the way over the years as your prices go up and up and up and up. And the live art show that I showed, right, the second one with Meg, the gal. So she was legitimately moving from one studio to another, and she was legitimately needed to move a bunch of this inventory because she didn't want to move it. And I was like, okay, well, we're going to have this live art show. She announced it on Monday. On Tuesday, she emailed her collector list. Okay, so these are her collectors that she's developed, anyone that's bought an original. And they bought, out of the 83 pieces The collectors bought 32 of the pieces before the live art show even happened, right? And in Matthew's case, the other one, same thing. Right before COVID, he had a show, and a show that was actually dog and pony in the gallery, the whole thing. And it was in Canada, and he emailed his entire collector list, and they bought 30% of the show before the thing even happened. And so, don't ever underestimate how important it is. I kind of went on a long rant on this one. Having those lower price points such that you can get customers in the door, they're on your email list, you're continuing to nurture them year in, year out. It's really, really important. So, yeah, I'd love for you to have the cheaper price points, and don't get it twisted. I don't care if you don't like prints and you're like, I don't ever want to do prints. That doesn't matter to me. But I want something lower than a $400 Sue Grace original, right? What's up, YouTube? Thanks for checking out the Q&A. What if you have your own question? First, you can leave me a comment below on this YouTube video. I see them. I will respond. Number two, definitely encourage you to subscribe. It's very easy to do. There's some fancy motion graphics going across the screen now. But there's a subscribe button. There's a bell button. You'll know when we're live. You can come on and say, Patrick, I have a question, even from your YouTube app, which is super handy. And then the third is 3 times weekly, Monday, Wednesday, Friday, free Zoom calls. We call them the Art Business Workshops. There's going to be a link directly below me in this description. You can sign up. They're free. You can come answer your question, which I'm sure will be awesome. And I will do my measure best to make sure my advice is slightly better than marginal. No, but in all seriousness, I'll take a crack at answering it. Thanks for checking out this video.